General Hospital spoilers reveal that Michael and Drew will have a talk in the upcoming episodes. Drew has been back in Port Charles for quite some time, but now only has he had a chance to speak to Michael privately. That location is in the boxing gym of Volonino's gym. What are they discussing? It is clear that Michael and Drew only have one problem in common: the takeover of Aurora Media. This is where many of Drew's past memories are restored. At that time, he was still living in Jason's memory and was Sam's husband. It was Drew and Sam who founded this company together, and now it's time to hand over the management to Michael. But this is a work-related matter, and it would certainly be better to discuss it in the office with full contract documents. This is a gym, so maybe Michael and Drew will talk about something else. After all, there are two private matters that are likely to be subject of Michael and Drew's discussion. First is the love triangle between Sonny, Carly, and Nina that Drew also knew about through Carly. The second is the case that the sex video of Joss and Cam was revealed. Drew was well aware of Nina's bad behavior when he confided in Carly, but Drew was willing to listen to Michael's story and to see how Michael was feeling. Eventually, Drew realized that Michael had a huge problem with Sonny. Remember that Michael has lost a father, so this conflict can bring Michael and Sonny's relationship to a dead end. Drew, of course, didn't expect this bad to happen, and he was also relieved that Michael didn't change his last name to Quartermain. Maybe it was because the two of them were at the gym owned by Sonny that they had brought up this topic. Moving on to the second issue, Joss and Cam's sex video was posted on the internet. All of these troubles were caused by Esme, and she puts all the blame on Trina. This may not seem like much of a deal to Drew, but it's something Michael has been dealing with lately. Besides, if you look closely, Drew is like another father to Cameron. That's why Michael felt it was a good idea to confide this to Drew. Meanwhile, Drew also seems to be interested in Cameron's problem and seems to want to help to find the real culprit behind. When Drew returned to Port Charles, Jason died on Cassadine Island. At first, Jason wanted to come rescue the hostages, and unfortunately he couldn't get out before the tunnel collapsed. Drew was already heartbroken to see his twin brother buried, and he was unable to save him. Drew reappears in town, but this time he wants to reassure both Michael and Carly that he is not Jason's replacement. Although Drew used to live in Jason's memory, now he wants to be himself. Maybe the topic of Michael and Drew's conversation also changed to Jason's. Apparently, what they have in common is that the relationship between Drew and Jason is the same as that between Michael and AJ. Previously, Drew and Jason were not as close to each other. Just when the two cousins are just getting closer, Jason has a heartbreaking incident and Drew is left alone. Drew's story reminded Michael of his past with AJ. Drew and Michael had a moment of empathy for each other as they chatted.